Donald Trump and his allies are injecting half-truths, misinformation, and flat-out lies in some cases in order to score a version of political points, I suppose.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Jen Psaki, formerly of the White House, now at MS-13 DNC, trying to blame Donald Trump and Elon Musk in some sort of way for the California wildfire disaster. Now, this is really crazy. Jen Psaki, really? MSNBC, really? I understand the model, the business model of MSNBC, CNN, etc. I understand. It's we hate Donald Trump 24/7. If you hate Trump, come watch us and we'll give you your Trump hatred fix. I get it. But y'all want to try to, in any kind of way, blame the fire and the resulting fallout on Elon Musk and Donald Trump? For real? Do your viewers actually believe that? Well, you know what? That's kind of a silly question. I think your viewers do believe it because you guys have made them believe it. Any and everything in this world you want to blame on the orange man. Okay, the sun don't shine or the sun does shine. It rains too much or it doesn't rain at all. It's somehow the orange man's fault. This guy's not even in office yet, but he's the reason why this is kind of spiral out of control. Now, before I go any further into it, let's get to a couple of clips before we get to Jen Psaki talking. The first one, look, you got a water leak out here somewhere in LA. Yeah, I think you might need the water for the fires. Now, okay, you got a water main breaking right here. And they're like, okay, well, how is this water main breaking? But when we try to get water out of the fire hydrants to fight the fires, ain't no water. What's going on? Well, I'm not sure if this area is fed by the same water source that the burning area is fed with, but I'm pretty sure the burning area is in part fed with that reservoir that was empty for some reason for 9 months. 117 million gallons empty for months. Oh, okay, we got to do some routine maintenance on a cover. And since the maintenance didn't get done, somebody dropped the ball, they took the money and ran off. The reservoir is empty. And as a result of that $130,000 repair not being done, you have billions of dollars in damage. I saw one number that said 50 billion, and I've seen another number that said 150 billion. Either way it goes, it's very expensive. Now, let's keep going here. Are Donald Trump and Elon Musk to blame for criminals dressing up as firefighters to rob people in Southern California? Is that their fault?
But when I was out there in the Malibu area, I saw a gentleman that looked like a firefighter, and I asked him if he was okay because he was sitting down. I didn't realize we had him in handcuffs. We were turning him over to LAPD because he was dressed like a fireman, and he was not. He just got caught burglarizing a home.
So, I mean, again, who's to blame for that? Who's to blame for that? You know who I would blame? Aside from the criminal, obviously, because first and foremost, you out here robbing people, you're to blame first. But beyond that, I blame the legal system out there in California. Okay, this guy probably should have been in the penitentiary. He maybe is an illegal alien. I blame the open borders. I blame the soft on crime policies. I blame the general air of lawlessness that exists in California, especially Los Angeles, San Francisco, etc. Now, let's keep going here. All right, Jen Psaki, how are we going to blame this on? Look, you got Trump and Musk in the graphic in front of the fire, like they are in any way responsible for what happened here. You guys in California, I don't know if you're out there in California right now, Jay, you're probably in New York, but the people of California who voted for Gavin Newsom, Nancy Pelosi, Karen Bass, and all the rest of them, they're responsible for what happened here. But let's see how you spin it.
And with these fires still burning, we are facing important questions about how to mitigate and prevent disasters like this in the future. Fact is, leaders will need to confront a very complicated and challenging reality moving forward. But right now, that is not exactly what is happening. Instead, Donald Trump and his allies are injecting half-truths, misinformation, and flat-out lies in some cases in order to score a version of political points, I suppose. We saw something similar play out just this past October in the aftermath of Hurricanes Helene and Milton, when Trump repeatedly lied about FEMA spending disaster relief funds on migrants.
So let's see what it says right here on the screen. It says the former president has seized on the devastation left by Helene to launch a barrage of misinformation, including promoting the false claim that FEMA spent disaster relief money on migrants that add to his already inflammatory rhetoric about immigration. Well, regardless of what, we know that there wasn't enough money for the people when they needed it. We know that the migrants came over here with these prepaid debit cards with $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 on it. We know that. And we know that you were offering North Carolinians $700 for a household after their entire community was wiped away by the hurricane. And we know that they were squabbling on the phone to even get half of that while they were left with nothing, no home, no job, no nothing. But whatever, we'll keep on going.
Which didn't happen. Also baselessly claiming that the Biden administration was absent and incompetent in delivering aid, despite what elected officials of both parties on the ground said. Those lies were then spread and amplified by...
Well, people on the ground in North Carolina, and, you know, I'm out here. I live in East Tennessee, not very far away. Every time I come from 75 south to north, it'd be a sign, I-40 closed permanently. Because that whole, I'm talking about that whole part of the state devastated. People I know that live there are telling me that the federales aren't doing much at all, that everything is still gone and there's nobody there to help them. It's cold out there, it didn't snow and everything. People are intense right now in that particular part of the country. So you could say that the government was there, whatever, but you kind of trying to downplay the disaster that happened that is largely being ignored.
By the richest man in the world on the social media site that he owns. So I guess none of us should have been shocked this week when Elon Musk posted that the Los Angeles Fire Department prioritized DEI over saving lives and homes.
Well, when you have 3 lesbian women at the very top of LAFD, and this is a trade that's probably 95% male, 95% white male, that couldn't have happened without direct intervention. Adam Carolla said that when he went to try and become a firefighter many years ago in LA County, North Hollywood, wherever he was, he said that they told him, since you're not a person of color or a woman, come back in 7 years. So when you put things like that ahead of basic stuff like, I don't know, clearing out the forest, like you have no problem satisfying the DEI initiatives. But when it comes to actual things that will protect people, which is part of your job, you're absent.
That's an exact quote. That appeared to be a disgusting dig at the city's fire chief, Kristen Crowley, who has served in the department for decades, rising through the ranks to become the first female and LGBTQ fire chief in LA's history. Musk also amplified a post this week from conspiracy theorist Alex Jones. Yes, that guy. He's still around. Alex Jones wrote that Los Angeles fires are part of a larger globalist plot to wage economic warfare and deindustrialize the United States before triggering total collapse.
That's what it looks like to me. That's what it looks like. And I'm not going to say that he's true or false, but if what he's saying is true, then I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, not sure that guy's okay. Musk responded to that post by writing, true. Yes, just to repeat here. That's just the richest man in the world and the best friend of the incoming president, confirming to his 200 million followers that he thinks the devastating wildfires are a part of a globalist plot.
I mean, look, again, if what Alex Jones is saying winds up to be true, I wouldn't, because look, this was totally preventable. Rake the forest. Make sure you have damp ground to prevent the dry conditions that will spark an out-of-control 0% contained wildfire in Southern California, one of the most densely populated regions in this country.
And so now we're back in this vicious cycle where Trump and his new bestie push lies about a natural disaster, and then right-wing media runs with them.
I'll say it out loud. They have no intention of putting out these fires.
All these people are focused on pronouns and fish you can't eat and, scrubbing white people from the fire department.
DEI, as Elon Musk said, can actually mean DIE.
In the events like this, you sort of look, well, Is it on purpose? I can make all kinds of horrible theories up in my head, conspiracy theories and everything else, but it just seemed a little convenient that there was no water, and and that the wind conditions were right, and that there are people ready and willing and able to start fires. And are they commissioned to do so, or are they just acting on their own volition?
These are valid questions you have to ask, because it just seems kind of like, all right, look, you know that fire is prone for this particular region. You're prone to have wildfires, dry conditions, Santa Ana winds. Like, everybody knows you got seasons for wildfires. Everybody knows this. So why wouldn't you prepare properly? Why wouldn't there be water in the reservoir? Why wouldn't there be water on the ground in the forest? Why aren't you cutting trees that are in danger of becoming incendiary and creating a wildfire? Why wouldn't you rake the brush and all the debris? Why wouldn't you do that? I just don't understand. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
That's a conspiracy theorist playing it all out on TV and nobody questioning him.
All right, so there we have it. Look, I mean, I don't know about the fires being set on purpose, like as far as a really big global plot, but there have been people arrested for arson during this whole situation. One guy was, I don't know if he was here legally, illegally, but that's a question that needs to be answered. There have been arsonists caught in this case, and we see criminals trying to take advantage of it. Look, as I close, I want to say this. Rather than trying to point the finger somehow at Trump and Elon, and even throughout that piece, I don't even know how Trump really was mentioned, but I guess because Elon said something and Elon has gone to Mar-a-Lago a few times, that means Trump is responsible. These people are ridiculous. Mainstream media, television, I don't see how you guys watch it. At this point, it is theater. It's like local community theater at best. But at least in your community theater, they're just doing it for the passion, for a hobby. These individuals have bad acting for a more nefarious purpose, to try and make you believe things that aren't true in this world. So you'll see a wildfire, you'll see that it could have been prevented, and then you turn on TV and they say, oh, it couldn't have been prevented. This is a natural disaster. Nothing could be done. Or they'll say, you know what? This is climate change's fault. That's right. Climate change in the area that is known to be dry, is known. They call it the Santa Ana winds. This is not anything new. This is repeat, predictable weather. How are you going to call predictable, repeated weather a result of climate change? That's what they do on television, tell you lies, gaslight you to make you believe a thing that is not true. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your thoughts on this whole situation with MS-13 DNC trying to point the finger at Elon, and then by way of Elon, Trump was responsible? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I mean, this is crazy. California sucks when it comes to the government. It's a beautiful place, I'm sure, in many parts of it. Not necessarily in the city of Los Angeles, it's real ghetto, but beyond that, in the hills, the rugged terrain, beautiful. But you have incompetent people, Karen Bass, Gavin Newsom, Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters, all of them incompetent, ridiculous. And I feel bad for the citizens of California. A lot of y'all just regular, everyday, hardworking people, but you got to be subject to these ridiculous rules that don't make any sense. Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.